Can England, the world champions, make 1970 the year they bring home the World Cup for the second time? Having beaten Romania 1-0 by a goal from Jeff Hurst, and Czechoslovakia
Was that the car?
1-0 by a Clark penalty.
For heaven's sake, she's passed her test.
West Germany, as they did against
About
Brazil,
12
they must
hours
be
ago.
in with a strong
They're not
chance.
kids,
But
Eileen.
how will they
Deb's
cope with the
17.
altitude and heat of Lyon?
What sort of an age
The
is
West
that?
German team who have already
You've been out of
scored
school
10
3
goals.
years when you were 17.
Aye, but she isn't, is she?
She's still a lot older in most ways than you were at her age. Most of her generation are.
So they tell us.
You really must stop thinking of them as kids, you know. Sarah doesn't.
I do, though. I just try not to let it show.
Well, come on, out you get. You should have gone for Dad half an hour ago.
You should have picked him up on the way. It's a Lady Jane Crossman's, isn't he?
But he'd love to see you in this condition, wouldn't he, Tom?
I can remember seeing him in this condition when I was so high. No? No, I tell a lie. So high.
Ouch!
Is it the longest day yet?
No, it just feels like it. Do you think you can make the house on your own?
You've got Grandad Barraclough's eyes. Did you know that? Sharp Yorkshire see-through eyes. See all and say nought. Not till you see the whites of their eyes. I've got Ellis's eyes. Ellis. Never met my dad, did you? Neither have I. Not since I was so high.
Sam's your dad. Best you ever had, anyway.
That your opinion, is it?
Yes, and I'm sticking to it. Now, for God's sake, get into the house.
Alice, where art thou? Alice, where art thou? Best I ever had. Crap.
It's for the Mines Research Establishment. Oh, I'd rather have been a cold board doctor, of course, but they won't let women go down. There's progress for you. How long is it since women used to pull tubs and give birth down there, eh?
Stormy rang from the pub to say the last bus had gone.
Is that where she went? To bring him back from the pub?
Well, it's a nice sisterly act.
A permissive society.
Ah, well, that's something else again.
Frank always said that one led to the other.
Frank wasn't a boozer, though, was he?
You know he wasn't.
He's gone upstairs.
Don't you want to go and see to him?
Good Lord, no, he'd never forgive me. He's 22.
He'd forgive you anything, you know damn well he would. Still act as a referee between him and Sam, do you?
Well, you know.
That's marriage. About which we know not, eh, Eileen? Oh, you mean...
Oh, you mean you're a spinster and I'm a widow?
Spinster, my God, what a word. No, what I actually... Oh, well, never mind.
I'll clear these away for you.
Oh, fiddlesticks, leave them.
No, I won't. I know what it's like to get somebody off to work first thing in the morning. It's late. I think we should go in a minute.
Okay. Why did she never have children, I wonder?
Who knows? I don't. Never discussed it for some reason or other.
Does she like being Morris Naylor's secretary?
She needs a man in her life, Eileen. Husband, a son, somebody to work for.
Yes. I've always thought that too. Mummy says she goes to church these days. I suppose that's Morris's influence.
What did she mean when she said she talked to you at the works today?
That's where I was. I was checking silica dust levels with a hygienist. It's for a project we're working on at the establishment. Well, Sam fixed it for me.
Oh, interesting.
Routine, really. Research can be very boring, you know.
As boring as canvassing for an election, the outcome of which is predetermined. Or so they say.
Predetermined by what? The opinion polls? Oh, I know they give Labour a massive lead, but you can't take chances, can you?
I think you're right. I think they're wrong. I reckon it's Heath in, Wilson out.
Well, we'll see.
A week today.
I miss Frank, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
He was a milk and water socialist, but he was a good man. I do appreciate people, you know. Politics apart.
A lot of your friends don't.
I don't like all my so-called friends, Sarah. You're obliged to keep strange company in politics.
Like there's a new chap that's taken Frank's place. It's a safe Labour seat, 30,000 majority. They'd vote for a pig with a red ribbon round its neck. I vote for the opposition this time. Oh, it won't do anybody any good. Except me, perhaps. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I want to... what do they call it?
Dissent?
Winds easterly, mostly light.
And may I remind you, before we close down, please do not forget to turn off your television.
And may I remind you, before we close down, please do not forget to turn off your television. Good night, everybody. Good night.
But I've never heard of them.
No. No, they're a German subsidiary of a multinational corporation. Even if you sold them your shareholding, they wouldn't get control. Unless, of course, they had an agreement with one of the other major shareholders. And you can't transfer shares in a private company like ours without a majority decision of the board. Who else could they have approached, I wonder?
Well, don't look at me. The few shares I've got left after paying for Tom's education wouldn't give him control of the bogs.
Well, what shall I do then?
Oh, you want to sell?
Well, I don't know.
But they want a decision, of course.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you've got your reasons. It's entirely up to you, Cassie, and the board. I've explained the situation. Your motives are your concern, not mine.
Well, thanks. That's a great help.
It's entirely up to you. Can I give you a lift, Sam?
No, Deb's picking me up. God knows where she's got to. I better hang on, though. She'll play merry hell if I've dragged her out for nothing.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, then. I'll see myself out. Night. Don't worry about it. Nil posse creare de nilo. Good night, Sam.
Good night, Lucretia. Nil posse what?
It means nothing can be created out of nothing. See, that school cert Latin came in useful after all. Cheat, really. There's a quotation that's always stuck in my mind. Maybe it's because it sums me up. Nothing can be created out of nothing.
Now, Cass.
Well, what use am I? Major shareholder in a firm that over 500 people work for, and I can't make any sort of decision about anything without consulting Morris.
Well, you could try consulting me, maybe.
I know you too well.
You've known Morris a good few years. What's so special about him?
He's not you. Not Skeleton Council School and back of the Gospel Hall in the long grass. He's grammar school and Ponty Lane. And all this, I suppose.
Turned against us, Cass. Is that why you spend half your time in London?
I don't. This is London, anyway. In a way, to me. It's a not exactly long row, is it? I go down there to be near Giles and Kath.
That chap that stayed here last Christmas when the kids were home. What was his name again?
Harvey.
Aye. I liked him.
Yes, you've said so several times.
Don't you see him still?
Now and then. Hoping to marry me off, were you?
You wasted single, Cass.
Am I? Me and how many others? No. It'd take more than loneliness with me, Sam. I can buy my way out of that, can't I? Well, to some extent I can.
Well, yes, there's that to it, I suppose. Sounds like Deb.
How's Tom? What's this latest job Sarah mentioned on the phone?
Some property company. He runs round the hills in a Land Rover looking for farmers that want to sell up. I suppose they think they're best in lad that's barely of age. That's why they took him on, of course. Aye, all that wasted education, Cass.
Oh, not wasted. Not nothing out of nothing.
We fight like cat and dog. It riles me as much as if he's my own flesh and blood.
Yes. I must cancel that. Oh, yes, and the standing order at the bank, too. There. Did I put the kettle on? No, I didn't, did I? I decided to have this scotch instead. That's another little habit you'll have to drop. No. I'm very abstemious, really. I don't. You are talking to yourself again. Talking to yourself? Again?
It's not true, you know.
Yeah, well, you said, didn't you? And you're my big brother, aren't you?
Look, I'll come with you to this bloke who said it, face to face, if you like.
What's the point, Tom? They're all liars, aren't they?
They?
You know what I mean. They lie and cheat. Ruin other people's lives as well as their own. You remember Patrick Davis? Smashing bloke he was. Only 18 when he died. What was awful was he stopped being able to do anything about it as well. That's how they are, isn't it?
They?
Yeah. They, Tom.
Yeah, you going in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Me first, please. I'm desperate.
So am I.
Oh!
Back to rationing, are we?
Eh? You what?
You've stopped serving biscuits, I see.
You never had them when they were there. You only want them because they've not been offered.
I'll get round home. My biscuits are my own round there.
It's your bedtime anyway. You've only been allowed up because our Pat's not here to help me round with you.
Where's my bloody stick?
You'll not get round there, stick or no stick, not on your own. Not till that leg's right. You can stop where you are till she gets back. Now just shut up and do as you're told. Now, you want biscuits, do you?
Oh, please yourself.
Well, do you, don't you?
Oh, aye.
Please? We say please, don't we?
By the living daylights.
Well then. Sorry I'm late.
I want to go home.
Yes, it's late. Sorry, Grandad.
I'll take you. Help me up with him, will you?
I'll need no help of her.
Will I do then? Up you come.
My stick.
Here it is. All right, Pat, I can manage him.
I'll open the door for you.
Come on, Grandad.
We say please, don't we? No, I don't. I don't say please, not bloody thank you. I've never been spoken to like that since I was out. I never know. I never know why.
We can't take him.
when we move next week. We can't take him.
And awkward, has he? Won't you go?
I've not told him. I just can't face the argument.
Well, you can't leave him next door, not with Eileen out all day.
Well, we'll have to find somewhere else for him then, because I'll not live with him.
It was your idea.
Oh, that was before he had this affliction with his leg. He's turned on me because of it.
Because of his leg?
It's made him dependent on me. You were out most of the day. You don't see it what I have to put up with. Just so he can make out he needs nobody.
Oh, he'll be better in a month or two. He's through the worst.
Well, I'm not through the worst. I can see it ahead of me. I'll not live in the same house with him, and that's flat.
Well, what are we to do with him then? We can't leave him there on his own.
You'll be out leading your life. It's me that'll have to carry it, and I'll not. I'll not live in the same house with him, and that's final. Final.
What reason did she give? Cassie.
None that made sense.
Well, you mean she doesn't know? She won't say.
Well, she said she'll consult Morris. If she can make any sense out of what Morris says these days, good luck to her. I can't.
Suppose another company did take over. Would it affect your job?
Nay, I'm only halfway between 40 and 50, Sarah. Plenty of jobs for a young spring chicken like me. You know, I used to get these bloody things done for me. I suppose she thinks it's above her now she's passed her driving test.
Ethel rang up last night, by the way.
Oh, what's she want?
She wants to see you about Grandad. She says he'll have to stop where he is.
Well, she's told him then. I suppose he said he won't move in with them.
She says she'll not have him.
God's pyjamas, have I got to go through all that again? She'll have to have him, that's all there is to it.
We could have him here, perhaps. I mean, I get on with him fine, always have done.
You didn't tell her that?
No, but why not?
Because I don't want him here, that's why.
Sam, you don't mean that.
Sarah, what kind of life would he have in this bloody madhouse? 3 kids screaming around, working out their frustrations, you and me doing the same, you into the bloody French. He'd be dead in a
Well,
fortnight.
he certainly wouldn't be bored.
Bored? God's pyjamas.
Isn't that one of the afflictions of age? Boredom?
Why doesn't she clean me shoes for me these days?
You've been superseded.
By what? Not that long-haired git that comes round here every weekend.
Possibly, probably even.
God's pyjamas.
You'd rather she'd chosen a short-haired git, I suppose.
She'll not marry that.
Marry? You mean she'll not live with him? That's what you mean, isn't it? Life's passing you by, Sam. Marriage went back years back, didn't you know?
All right, we've a complaint coming up. Don't tell me, let me guess. I'm out of touch. I don't take enough interest. I'll leave it all to you. Which is it, Sarah? All 3? God's pyjamas. All right, who did it?
I did. I threw something at him.
Sorry, I got out of the way. Inconsiderate of me.
What did he do?
What did I do?
Well, she didn't bloody throw it for nothing, did she?
Oh, yes, well, it was my fault, of course. I freely admit it. You better send me the bill and I'll write you a cheque out.
Cheeky, foul-tempered young slouch.
It was my temper that broke the window.
Sam, I left your breakfast on the stove. Go and get it. You'll be late.
Where do you think you're going? You can come in here and give me an explanation.
Sorry, it'll have to wait. Anyway, Deb will tell you she's more prone to the truth than I am, wouldn't you say? I'm late for work.
Work? Is that what you call it?
No comment.
It was last Sunday. We passed in the churchyard after evensong and you said I was to come here Friday and we'd go straight from here to the employers' meeting.
Friday? No, I'm not supposed to be here on Friday.
Oh, you must mean next Friday, Friday after election.
After the election. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry. I overslept. Do come in. My housekeeper usually wakes me, but she's been away this last week. I'm sorry. I'm awake now. Do come in.
Thank you.
Yes. Well. Oh, excuse me. Kettle. Bit of a pigsty, isn't it? I'm hopeless when Mrs. Locke's away. Hopeless. There were some papers I said I'd need.
Yes, I brought them with me.
Oh.
I took them home after work last night.
Oh, thanks. You're used to this sort of thing, of course.
Oh, living alone?
Well, no, the housekeeping side of things I meant, actually, and being a woman. But yes, I dare say living alone has its problems for all of us.
You didn't like things too tidy. Frank, when he put something down, he liked it to be there to pick up when he wanted it. Sometimes, even now, I pick something up and I think I hear him say, "You'll forget that if you put it away."
Yes. I still occasionally think I heard voices.
Yes.
Well, it's going to be a busy week this next week. Lots to get through, lots to do. I'd like you to work late every night if you can manage it.
I like to be busy.
Yes, you do, don't you? I was going to make some coffee. Have we time?
Oh, yes, yes. I'll make it, shall I?
Oh, yes. Yes, good. Well, I'll get dressed then. Lots to do.
Happy dreams.
Dreams?
I thought I'd see if you were all right before I went off to work.
What time is it?
9:30.
You're late.
No, I'm working your own today, at Crossman's.
When's this bed going to be back upstairs? I like things to be where they rightly belong. Upstairs, beds belong.
Well, you'll just have to wait until that leg's better. You should be living in a bungalow, really.
I'll go in no bungalow. I moved once, and that one under protest to please Polly. Twice in my life I've moved. I were 8-year-old the time before that. That were 80 year ago, that were. We come up from the country in a cart for work. The farm where your great-great-granddad laboured couldn't afford to keep him on. We were living off cheap food from Empire in them days, even. Empire, eh? What become of that then, eh?
You straighten your pillow. Up you come.
Want to stop here all day, Mark? Where's Eileen?
Off to work, of course. Mum will be round later to get you up.
She'll not, you know. I'll go to my last rest before I'll be got up here. I know they're talking about me.
Who is?
Mostly. What's best to be done with me? As if I can't fend for myself.
Oh, of course you can. Well, when your leg's better, you can.
Are you in league with it?
In league with him? You make it sound like a conspiracy.
Conspiracy it is. Conspiracy to get me out of here. I know. I can whisper and shush and make faces behind my back that I can see in yon mirror. I saw your mother in it. Somewhat I said to Eileen. I asked her a question. I saw your mother's mouth go shush in you. Shush. Not to be told. Whisper so we'll not hear you. Talk when we get back home. Say note in front of him. Aye, Bobby, then. Is that what I've become? Answer me.
You need help, that's all, Grandad. You need it, but you don't like it because you're not used to it.
Oh, but God, I don't. You'll not let them take me away from here, will you?
Grandad.
Aye, I thought as much. Is it you that's behind it, is it?
To help, Grandad.
There's all that we've gained and all that we've lost in a generation in you. You know that. Leave me.
Grandad.
Leave me, I said.
Je ne peux pas faire de gymnastique dans ma chambre. Elle est trop petite. Il n'y a pas assez de place. Quand je regarde par la fenêtre, le spectacle est affreux. Une cour, un garage et pas d'arbres. Quand la fenêtre est ouverte, l'odeur est affreuse.
Oui,
Il y a
oui.
des poubelles partout.
All right, all right.
Tout est laid ici. La femme de chambre apporte les petits
Are you sure
déjeuners
it's all
dans
right
la
for you to
chambre.
be off school?
Elle dit,
They said we could work at
voilà
home.
des croissants
They want the
et
class
des
for exams this morning. Mine's not till tomorrow.
Et notre confiture est délicieuse.
I usually have coffee and toast when you're all out about this time. Want some?
Yeah.
Put the kettle on for me then.
What's it like when we're out? Peaceful?
I'll say.
Don't you get bored? Hey, why is the living room window broken, by the way?
Deb broke it. She threw something at Tom.
Oh. What was it this time?
She said I'd have to ask you.
Oh.
That's what she said.
Do you want tea or coffee?
Coffee, please.
I don't think Tom likes his job, you know, Mum.
You don't?
He wants you to think he likes it, of course.
Well, it's only a start for him. We knew that. It limited his choice when he missed out in university.
Oh, he ducked it, Mum. He'd not admit it, though. He'd rather we thought he wasn't up to it. I think he regrets it now. Because most of the things he'd really like to do need a degree of one kind or another.
Well, forestry was one. You don't need a degree for that, do you?
No, not for chopping trees down, I suppose.
There's more to
Only
it
it's
than...
like everything else these days. It's specialised. Anyway, I don't see a job that's really just conning farmers is going to get him to the top of the tree in forestry.
And conning farmers.
Yeah. Well, that's what it seems like to me. Oh, I wish Dad had talked to him. I know Tom doesn't exactly encourage him to, but I think he would.
Well, if Dad tried a bit harder, you mean?
Yeah, well, he seems to find the time for me. How do you think it makes me feel?
What, in relation to Tom, you mean?
To both of them, maybe.
You're not getting to the point, Chris. You feel you need to prepare me, do you, for whatever it is?
Oh, it's your generation, Mum.
Is it? We've had a few unpleasant facts to face, you know. A damn sight more than yours, as a matter of fact.
Oh, don't get stroppy with me. See, that's part of the trouble too, isn't it? Every time we try and have a rational conversation, you just get stroppy.
Yes, well, we haven't all had the advantages of your education, have we?
Tom had all the chances and the brains to use them, and look at the mess he's in.
All right, then tell me. What mess is he in?
You'll not tell Dad?
You'll have to leave me to decide that.
He'll just get stroppy too, it won't help. I think Tom's on drugs, Mum.
Drugs? You mean...
I mean drugs, Mum.
By God, that was quick. I didn't even know it had started.
What?
The revolution. Major Managing Director, have they? Chief Commissar at Crossman's, eh?
Drop dead. I came to see Morris Naylor. He's out, so I'm leaving a note.
He's at an employers' meeting. No need to leave a note, though, I'll tell him.
I promised I'd let him know.
Let him know what, Pat?
The results of the tests we've been doing at the foundry. It's nothing to do with Crossman's, of course. They just lent us the facilities. But since he asked, and since I promised...
Well, go on, keep talking. Who said you could come here in the first place?
You did.
Well, don't you think I'd be interested then?
Well, you discuss these things between you, don't you?
Yes, we do. That's why you can tell me and I'll tell him. What you trying to do? Split the ranks of management? Undermine solidarity?
The figures are there if you want them.
Oh, Morris out?
Well, he's hiding under the desk.
Have a look at those figures, Sam. You may find them interesting, if you understand them.
Go on. And if I don't, you'll explain them to me, of course.
Of course. See you later. Cassie?
She doesn't like me, does she, Pat? Never has done.
Oh, not you, Cass. What you are. A capitalist.
And what does that make you?
A lackey, in her terms. In mine, well, I work hard, long, to some effect. We've doubled the workforce in the last 7 years. I'm not ashamed of that. It's made life harder for me, not easier. You've done all right out of it, though.
Better than you who've done the work.
Well, it's like I've always said, Cass. It's how things are.
I don't like it, Sam.
Don't you?
No, I don't. It worries me.
You're stuck with it, though, aren't you?
Am I? Suppose I sold out.
Well, you'd just land me with a new set of bosses. Somebody'd not get on with that.
And you get on with me because I do as I'm told.
You take Morris's advice, don't you?
And Morris does what you want because you thump the desk and make his life hell.
I don't do things like that, Cass.
So I'm stuck with it, am I?
Unless you take the easy road out, and you'll not do that.
Won't I? What makes you so sure?
It's how I read you.
You're not just a desk thumper, you're crafty with it, aren't you?
Happen. It's a bit of a jungle, Cass. It's like it is in the house sometimes. The hardest part of it is learning to live with each other. I could take the easy way out, you know. We need a new safety man. I've always been safety-minded since George. I'd do it well. It's an important job, though it's not always thought of as such. I could stand down from this. It would mean a bit less money, but I'd cope, relax, take the easy way out. Think it out for yourself, Cass. Or go on asking Morris all your life.
I know your dad. I'll tell him on you.
What have I told you about getting out of bed on your own? Why do you think I go to all the trouble? Did you hear me? I know you're up there. I'm not coming up. If you're well enough to get up, you're well enough to get down. Did you hear me? Dragging me up and downstairs. I don't know what you think you're on about. I really don't. Did you hear me?
Clear the decks.
Oh, must I?
Your father's coming home for lunch.
Oh, I thought he had it at the works every day.
Yeah, well, once in a blue moon he has it at home. Caretaker's wife won't cook if there's only one in the director's dining room, and if there's only one, it's usually your father. Why do you want to work in here, anyway?
Company?
How can you work with me rushing in and out?
Oh, it's a pleasant distraction.
Well, that's something you've inherited from your father, anyway.
What?
Flattery.
Sounds like Tom's Land Rover. Mom, what are you going to do about what I told you?
You told me. It's up to me now, isn't it?
Mum?
Don't tell me you're home to lunch.
Well, if it's all right.
You're lucky, or unlucky, as the case may be. There's a large cottage pie in the oven.
Well, I'm lucky then.
I thought you were going to Huddersfield or somewhere like that.
I was. It fell through.
Doff that tip.
Physics. Equations of motion. Newton's first law. A body remains at rest or in uniform motion unless the resultant force acts on it. Oh, is that so?
Better be.
Tom, I want to talk to you.
Yes.
There's some tomato juice in that tin there. The others don't like it, but I know you do. Help yourself. That can be your first course.
Thanks. Is Deb coming home?
No, she's gone to see the eye specialist.
Ah, are you having her headaches again?
She's been studying too hard.
Stress and strain.
Stress and strain?
Stress and strain. Headaches, tantrums, tensions. It's Deb's reaction to the pressures of life.
Oh, you're an expert, are you?
Oh, yes. An expert. Would you like me to give her a good talking to?
Look, there's only one expert, and that's Deb. So far as her life's concerned, I forbid you to talk to her about it.
Forbid me?
Yes, I forbid you. What are you grinning at?
You forbidding me?
Maybe I should have done it more often.
Said my generation, Mum.
We're the honest generation. Exposed. Honest with ourselves.
But not with your elders, it seems.
In what respect?
In respect of drugs, for example.
Chris, he told you then?
He had to tell me. It was too much of a responsibility for him not to. There've been boys in the sixth form asking him to get things from you.
You didn't tell me that. Hey, look, Mum, it's all rubbish.
Is it? Honest generation?
Lunch ready?
No, you're early.
Oh, I'm not complaining, I'm just asking.
Would you like me to clean your car for you, Dad?
Hey?
Boston gave me the afternoon off, but said I got to clean the Land Rover. So I might as well clean yours if I get the hose pipe out.
Oh, well, I'll not stop you if that's what you mean.
There's no charge. Get the gear out. Give us a shout when dinner's ready.
What's he want?
What?
Well, he never does anything for nothing. Not for me, he doesn't. In trouble, is he?
Trouble?
Well, I mean, the last time he turned his public school charm on me was when he was done for speeding and couldn't cough up the fine.
You busy?
Yeah.
Would you like to earn £5 for cleaning 2 cars? After Dad's gone to work, I'll drive him there and bring it back.
I've got an exam tomorrow.
You told her then, eh? Spilt the beans, grassed on me. It's all right, I understand. There's no sweat. And for God's sake, tell Mum it's all rubbish. Who's been asking you to get the stuff from me?
Dot Staveley.
She asked me at the club last week. I said, sorry, not got. That's why she's been asking you. She'll be trying to stir it for me. Is that what you're trying to do?
Oh, to hell with Dot Staveley. I keep thinking of Patrick, that's all.
Patrick? What's Patrick got to do with me?
He went from one thing to the other until he got onto the hard stuff and it killed him. Don't you like life, Tom?
Do I like life? Oh, there's a question. What about you? Do you like life?
Yeah. By and large, I suppose I do.
God, we're so different, aren't we? We're part of the same blood. Maybe I should get out of here.
Yeah. Maybe you should.
Can't seem to save any brass. I dare say Sam would fork out if he thought it meant seeing the back of me. You ever thought about leaving?
No. When I wrote round the universities, I wanted it to be Leeds so I could stay at home.
You must be mad. I can understand Deb, but not you. It's different blood, you see, on the male side. My old man was a roamer, restless. He had the right attitude to home ties and all that rubbish. Alice, where art thou? Alice, where art thou? Alice, where art thou?
Hey, you two! Do you know Mr. Barraclough?
Oh, Jack Barclough, aye.
Have you seen him?
He went down there.
When?
This morning.
Shouldn't you be at school?
Yeah.
Oh, you've no idea what it took to get these.
What are they?
Cheese.
Oh. Oh, well. I went right through Lent without eating meat at all. Oh, perhaps Sam's still in the dining room. Maybe we can get him to bring us an apple down.
Oh, she'll not cook for one. There's nobody else in today. He'll have gone home.
Oh, yes. She's an independent old misery, isn't she? Well, look, will you have one?
No, I've some of my office, thank you. I want to get these notes transcribed.
You drive very well.
Thank you.
Very well indeed.
Frank taught me.
You live on your own now, don't you?
Well, I've Pat and Ethel next door and Jack on the other side.
Other people's houses. Not quite the same. Never quite sure if you're really wanted. Well, I feel like that. Sometimes even at Sam's, you know.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Never quite sure. I'm sorry the house was in such a tip this morning. Men are hopeless, aren't they, alone?
Well, it's easier for a woman, of course.
Well, from that point of view, perhaps, but... Well, loneliness. It's the same for all of us, isn't it?
Perhaps.
I used to talk to myself at one time, you know. Imagine. There I'd be, on my own. And I'd hear this strange voice. And it was me. A bit worrying sometimes. A bit difficult to cope.
Yes.
Oh, Eileen, Morris.
Sam.
I went home to lunch. The old battle-axe put her foot down again.
I'll just get these notes transcribed.
Right, thank you. You can't beat an older woman, can you, when it comes to secretaries? Well, I owe her to you.
She's not that old, Morris.
Isn't she?
Pat gave me these figures. They're air measurements she took in the foundry. 8% silica on average. She did some tests on the parting powder, too. It's 5%. Regulations say it should be 3.
You shouldn't have let her in.
Say that again.
I said you shouldn't have let her in. You know how she is where Crossman's is concerned, and you know why. She's quite capable of bringing in her own parting powder
No,
with a
Morris.
higher silica content simply to prove a lie.
No, that's not true, Morris.
Isn't it? I would be most grateful if you'd keep your relatives out of this works in future, Sam. I really would. Excuse me.
Where is he?
For the speed he went out of here, I think he wanted to go. What you been doing to him?
We've been to the employers' meeting.
What did they do? Crucify him?
He lives an awful life, Sam.
Who, Morris?
An awful life. Oh, I know he's the big man here, and it's yes, sir, no, sir. Have you been to his house recently?
No. Not for a year or more. He comes to mine often enough, though. Tells me how to run it. It's his hobby. Has been for years. It's a wonder the kids don't call him Dad.
That's cruel.
Cruel on me, you mean?
You work too hard, Sam. He does. You all do. What happened to life, Sam?
Ah, life.
Life. Living. Enjoying the sun in your face. I should talk. Oh, God, I should talk.
Eileen?
I remember you, do you know? I remember you in little grey flannel shorts and boots loaded with segs, and a grey pullover down from top to bottom by your gran, and a tight, hungry little face. And you were happy, Sam.
What are you talking about, Eileen?
You see, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Eileen.
Oh, don't keep saying Eileen. What am I to you? What do you know about me?
I know my mum did you out of Alan Dakin, I know that.
Who told you?
Nobody told me.
Oh, somebody
No,
must have.
nobody told me. I knew, that's all. And my grey flannel shorts and my boots loaded with segs, I knew.
Oh, Sam. Sam.
What is it?
We come all this way. Over years and years. We lose things and we find things. What are we about, Sam?
You can't just leave it at that, Mum.
I'm not going to. I shall talk to him again.
Talk to him. Talk's not enough. Oh, come on, Chris, support me.
I don't know. Maybe he's just taking sunshine or something like that.
Sunshine?
They're pills. There's nothing much except that
Except that they go on to other things, don't they, Chris? He doesn't want to upset you. She's upset already.
What other things?
Stuff they inject.
Inject?
Into the vein with a needle. I'm sorry to be brutal, but that's how it is.
Where would he get a needle?
Hospital waste bins, some of them come from. Complete with infections of one kind or another. They're not particular once they're addicted.
We don't know that he is.
I've a damn strong suspicion.
You seem to know a lot about it.
The age of innocence comes to a very quick end these days, Mum.
If it was like that, we'd know.
No, maybe not,
The
Mum.
needle marks would be there, all right, but when did you last see him with his clothes off?
Well, last holidays when he went swimming.
He didn't, though, did he? Always said the water was too cold.
Look, it's against the law, Mum. Getting the stuff, I mean.
Look, you're thinking of what's going to happen if Dad finds out, aren't you? Well, there are worse things than those two tearing each other apart, you know. Not much worse, but this is one of them.
Where would he keep it? In his room?
Grandad!